I don't know if you've heard of this story. It's been a story for some time, and we should bring it here to talk about it. I want to hear your opinion, and then also to create awareness for ourselves as African and as black people on the face of this earth. There is a story of a man who was jailed for 28 years, and the reason why he was jailed was because um there was this white woman that was molested, and she was asked to, like, point the person that did that to her. And because she dreamt that the man was wearing the clothes that this very black man wore that day, she now pointed at this man, that this man was the one that molested her. It wasn't the man. I'm going to leave the picture here. It wasn't the man, but he was arrested. It doesn't just stop there. Now, this is because of a dream. She dreamt, that it is the clothes that the person wore. This is the clothes the person wore. You can Google the story. It's there online for all these times. It's been there, and you get to understand more. But there's something I want to point out as we proceed. Now, because of a dream, she saw this man with this color of clothes, which anybody can have, right? And she said it was the man. Now, where the problem lies was, this woman said this based on the dream she had. And during the prosecution, during the court process and the rest of them, they didn't even give opportunity to this man to defend himself. He wasn't given opportunity to defend himself. And before you say Jack, this man was imprisoned for 28 good years. And guess what? The man that was with the woman that night, after 28 years, he came out and said he was the one. Then they released him after 28 years.
This is the man that 28 years of his life was cut off from him. See the joy that people around him have after he's been gone for 28 years just because of the dream that one white woman had. For a dream, he was sent to prison. He was forcefully accused for a dream, and 28 years of his life was cut off. He was cut off from his family. He was cut off from those he loved. He was cut off from life and freedom. His freedom was deprived just because he was a black man. If it was a white man, do you think the sentence would be same?
Becoming so emotional. For a dream, if you've not gotten the story, for a dream, this man was arrested. He wasn't involved. It was not him. Right? He was arrested because that's the clothes she claimed she saw the man that molested her wore in the dream. He was arrested. He wasn't given a proper opportunity to defend himself. He was in prison for 28 good years. Then after 28 years, he was released because the man that was with the woman that night came and said, this man is not guilty. I was the one that was with this woman that night. And they released him. And nothing happened to the woman. Nothing happened. Case was closed. What is your worth as a black man or as a black woman living in another man's land? How are you treated as a black man or as a black woman living in another man's land? This is just the tip. A tip of the iceberg of what happens to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, right? They keep living. Look at the man, he's old. A 28-year-old human being is not a boy again. He's a man. And this man was deprived of 28 years of his life. Can they pay back those years? Now, the woman herself, nothing was even said about her after the whole thing. Can she repay back those years of this man that was wasted? And the so-called man that know he was the one, someone else is being charged for what he did not do. Come to think of it, I sat down and thought about this a whole lot. Just imagine you didn't do anything, and then somebody come and point at you because the person is a woman, and a white woman at that. She comes to point at you. You are the one, and they pick you. Maybe you had plans already for yourselves and your children. You had plans. You need to work to feed them. There's a lot of things you need to do. Do you know that they turned this man's life upside down? Just imagine you were arrested like this. The hope you have is gone. Nobody to come defend you. You know you didn't do anything. In short, some of your families will start doubting you because they'll be like, what is happening? These are what this man went through. Can they pay back those years? Can they pay back the emotions this man went through? The pain he went through to be in jail for 28 years. I know those that are in prison for molestation and other things, they don't take it lightly with them. Even their inmates themselves deal with them very well. Just imagine what this man have gone through. And then you now come out. You know you are the one that did this thing. You didn't say anything. After 28 years. In short, where was that Holy Spirit? Did not touch you since. Is now. When the man's prime is wasted. Right? When his prime is wasted, that is when you now came out to say he's not the one, that you are the one. How wicked we can be. How wicked they can be. And then we live together. And they make us feel there is nothing wrong. We love you all. And we feel, oh my goodness, they love us all. In our dreams. Because when they have the slightest opportunity, they will show you that you are nothing. They will show you that you do not have equal rights with them. You can even be together with them, eat and have everything with them. They have meetings behind your back. They have meetings on how to bring you down, on how to destroy your businesses, on how to scatter your efforts. They have those meetings behind your back. There was a clip I came across of how these people were seated, planning rigorously, with all their heart and soul, on how to bring down the image of a black person. They were planning, in short, with everything that they have. Is the level of which we are seeing. When you think that you are important, they make you important because they want something from you. They want something from you, that's why they make you important. And you think you are loved. Right? When you don't have anything to offer anymore, to hell with you. You're your own. Even their children in schools with our black folks, you hear what their children say from their mouth. You just imagine. Children learn a lot. It is what the parents do that they gradually pick. When you are having a discussion with your friend as a mother, you just imagine your child will be looking at your mouth, the way your mouth is moving. Gradually, they get to understand you, right? And then you are making discussions. You give them toys to play with. You don't know that their ears are with you. Their ears are with you. It is their hands they use in working, but the ears are there. These children hear what you say. They hear what their parents say, and they go to school and say the same thing to the black children in schools. Right? You are not important. You are ugly. You are dirty. I'm better than you. Statements like these are always heard in schools where the black and the white children are. They push it under the carpet. Cases like this come up even from teenagers between the white and the black folks. They push it under the carpet. A lot you wouldn't hear about. A lot you wouldn't see. Because they don't want you to see that. Since they are trying their best to pull out anything that is negative about them. And then they always try their best to go and fish out the negative about us and bring it out to the open. But when it is them, they pull it under the carpet. If it is a black woman that did this thing to a white man, oh my goodness. Everywhere you will hear of it. In short, the man won't even be sentenced, because they will go down and get to understand why a woman will have a dream about the color of whatever the man is wearing and come and point at someone else that is not even the person. Why will a woman work with the dream she have in reality? Question that sometimes we have to ask ourselves is that in this world we are always being deprived. Why? In this world, when it comes to the black person, it is a different story. Why? We are always painted with crimes, right? Some of the time it is a set-up plan, and most of the time it is not. It is because of the situation we are forced into. It is because of the situation the black image is forced into, and that is why they keep saying that if you are black, you are evil. And you think, of course I am evil, so since I am evil, I should keep doing what is evil. They will tell you, if you are black, you are not important, you are not capable. And then you tell yourself, I'm not capable, how can I do this thing? It's not possible that an African can do something like this. It's not possible that an African can produce this. It's better I go outside. And then you go, they capture whatever you have, and you are gone. Because every negativity is painted on the black man. He's out of prison, but he is not what he was before he went to prison, because a lot of his life went away. Over 2 decades of his life, almost 3 decades of his life was lost because of a dream that a woman had.
How many people think they understand what racism is? Show of hands. Come on, you think you know. I'm not suggesting I know. I just have a couple of definitions that kind of came to me as I thought about. How many people think there are white racists? That there are white racists out there? How many think there are black racists out there? Okay. Now, this is an interesting thing, because this becomes important as we begin to define concepts. Now, I do that. I usually define concepts all the way. But one of the things that I do is I try to help people get a picture of what I mean by racism. So tell me how it is. The first category is white racism, then we'll deal with black racism. So white racism. Tell me the ways in which white racism adversely impacts the lives of black people. Just what are the ways that white racism can adversely impact the lives of black people as a group? What are some of those ways? I'm sorry? Power, but how is that defined specifically? Education, okay. I'm sorry? Economically, employment. What else? Housing, what else? Policing. Why are we here today? Healthcare, okay. Now, we could actually kind of grow that list. Now we're going to move over to black racism. Tell me the ways in which black racism adversely impacts the lives of white people as an entire group. Thank you. The reason why you become silent, there's one that always comes up, and that's fear. White people are afraid of black people. They are afraid of us. And it's a very interesting thing, because black people know it. We know white people are afraid. But you have to start getting into the psychology. What are you afraid of? Why are you afraid? But it's an interesting dynamic. Now, also you see the difference in what racism is, do you not? Racism implies you have not just prejudice, but the power to do something with that prejudice. Now, I don't like you, not only that, but I'm going to control whether you can get, I may say I hate you. I hate white people. I hate them. It's not going to change you getting that, loan when you go to the bank. I can hate you all the way to the bank. Not going to change. Do you see the difference? That whereas white racism says, not only do I not like you, but I'm going to change the impact of where you can live. I'm going to determine with that racism where your powers are. You following me? And I'm talking about as a group, not an individual, because people said, I remember when my uncle didn't. I'm not talking about your uncle. I'm talking about the whole group. I'm not talking about an incident. That's a difference. But white people are afraid. So let's get into how this fear impacts criminal justice. Because if white people in this room are afraid of black people, guess who else is afraid of black people? Only they have guns.
So when people say systemic racism doesn't exist,